You know what they say, you gotta go fast. And that's exactly what's going on with Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Let's find out what the future holds for the Blue Blur. The fact that we got a Sonic the Hedgehog movie that was both above average for video game adaptations and also didn't make Sonic look like a mid-2000s homunculus is easy to overlook among all the strange things that have happened in our existence. In its third act, the sequel, titled Sonic the Hedgehog 2, greatly expands on how playful respect it showed for its inspiration while still being entertaining for kids, as well as Jim Carrey's fans everywhere. The first Sonic the Hedgehog film served as a solid foundation for the Sonic brand as a whole, enabling Sonic the Hedgehog 2 to pick up the slack and create a new story. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 quickly begins the action that has been set up to carry out, despite the time gap that has been established between the two movies. In addition, series newcomer John Whittington and returning writers Pat Casey and Josh Miller are able to utilize enough information from the first film to keep franchise newcomers on the same path as the returning audiences. If anything, this second burst of excitement did succeed in establishing a point of intersection between the present and the future. At the very least, good sequels must be mindful of what has already happened. That's perfectly checked off in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 as the Blue Blur aspires to rise to even greater heroic heights.
Oh, you want it? Here it comes!
I was expecting more of you.
We learn so much more about Sonic's past by revisiting the events of the first movie as he speeds down the dangerous road in service of continuing his story. That might have been enough to fund Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but Paramount's potential franchise has more to offer. The heroic fundamentals and significance of friendship aren't any less valuable after the introduction of more supporting characters and a bigger quest, continuing to develop Sonic and the characters he surrounds himself with. Thoughts of expanding a universe can be entertaining, but carrying out that potential requires careful planning. The Sonic the Hedgehog 3 release date has been brought to light by Paramount. The Sonic film series has so far produced 2 successful installments and is based on Sega's wildly popular action-adventure game series of the same name. Most recently, in April 2022, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was released. It outperformed its predecessor at the box office and received praise for its appealing visuals, a clever blending of humor and action, and endearing performances. If there are no delays, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will pop into theaters on December 20th, 2024. This was confirmed in early August 2022, which is a slightly longer wait than fans are used to for Sonic's big screen adventures. This movie is a change from the 2 that were released earlier in the year. The success of those films at the box office demonstrates how logical a Christmas release is. No specific date has been given for the start of the threequel's production, but we anticipate that it'll need to get underway no later than 2023 because, like the first 2 films, a sizable portion of the budget will go toward the visual effects. And now that we know when it will be released, let's learn more about the cast. Naturally, Ben Schwartz will reprise his role as Sonic, and he'll likely be joined by Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails and Idris Elba as Knuckles once again. But what would Sonic be without Dr. Robotnik? The conclusion of Sonic 2 gave Eggman an uncertain ending. It's pretty clear that Dr. Robotnik is assumed to be dead, even though a body could not be located. This is probably Paramount's plan to keep the door open for Robotnik to make a cameo in the opening. If Carrey does decide to stop acting, Robotnik might not come back to life in the movies, but since the movies have an open ending, anything could happen. Before we go any further, we wanted to let you know that it's time for you to smash that like button if you haven't done it already. Sonic's producers, Toby Asher and Neil H. Moritz, have stated that they wouldn't even try to recast the role. He clarified that Jim Carrey will always be a part of the Sonic family and will continue to appear in these films and TV shows for as long as he wants to. In terms of other human characters, expect to see James Marsden and Tika Sumpter reprise their roles as Sonic's parents, Tom and Maddie Wachowski. Lee Madjub as Agent Stone, Robotnik's patient employee, and Adam Pally as Wade Whipple, Green Hills as Deputy Sheriff. Since GUN played a larger role in the third film with the appearance of Shadow, Tom Butler as Commander Walters, Natasha Rothwell as Maddie's older sister Rachel, and Shemar Moore as her fiancé, Randall, may return. Shadow's appearance was hinted at in the credits scene, but who will voice him in the third film is unknown. The character is currently voiced by Kirk Thornton in the series, but we expect that a new actor will take on the role for Shadow's big screen debut.
My God. Project Shadow.
The post-credit scene for Sonic 2 is set after the film's final battle. Military officials show up to inspect the damage after Sonic and Knuckles work together to defeat an emerald-powered Dr. Robotnik. You might have missed the first important detail, which is a brief appearance by Robotnik's Goonstone before he slips away in disguise. The most important information is saved for last though. In response to the harm caused by Robotnik, the military decides to reveal something it has been kept secret for a very long time: Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow is being held in some kind of cryogenic sleep in a hidden facility. Since Sonic 3 has already been announced, it appears like that the story will center on Shadow as he battles Sonic before ultimately becoming his ally. One issue is whether Robotnik will appear in Sonic 3 once again. If he's actually gone, the movie will need to recast someone else in that part. However, given his significance to the franchise, we suspect that he'll return. After much anticipation for the character's appearance in the movie, Sonic the Hedgehog 2's mid-credit scene revealed Shadow the Hedgehog when GUN Commander Sam Walters discovered a hidden research facility from 50 years prior that housed the enigmatic Project Shadow. Shadow made his debut in Sonic Adventure 2 as a foe of the title character, who was developed by Eggman's great-grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, and revived by the antagonist to help in conquering the world. After realizing Eggman's plans would endanger the world and recalling his promise to his friend Maria to protect it, Shadow and Sonic would eventually form an alliance. Over the years, Shadow has divided critics while winning over players, earning his participation in subsequent games, including the poorly received spin-off Shadow the Hedgehog. It makes sense that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 would draw inspiration from both games, given that both the spin-off and Sonic Adventure 2 expanded Shadow's storyline, including his connections to GUN, especially given that both games featured hedgehogs interacting with humans. So it seems obvious that Sonic 3's main conflict will center on Shadow the Hedgehog, one of Sonic's most powerful opponents and a complex character. But at the end of video games, Shadow frequently revives himself and teams up with Sonic, suggesting that he'll do the same in Sonic 3. The Sonic series has been subtly suggesting that Metal Sonic might appear in Sonic 3, even though Shadow is the more obvious antagonist due to his appearance in Sonic the Hedgehog 2's mid-credits scene. Metal Sonic was an evil robot designed by Dr. Robotnik that was modeled after the hero he was created to destroy. Dr. Robotnik's desire to use Sonic's strength for himself makes it understandable why he would want to create a robot that could imitate Sonic. Because of this, you need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. But yeah, he was one of Sonic's toughest opponents in the past, requiring entire teams of heroes to defeat him. If Shadow ultimately chooses to do the right thing, it would be the ideal Sonic the Hedgehog 3 twist for him to join the heroes in their fight against Metal Sonic. See you in the next video.